And to you share your screen, please,
Okay.
and then you walk us through the
What I
test
have.
is yeah.
Can I share now?
Yes, please.
Mhm.
I think
Um,
you've got to enable multiple sharing so that you can share. I'm not sure she'll be able to share if that is not done.
Oh, okay. She was just sharing now, though.
yeah, but that was not what I wanted to share.
Okay.
Yeah, she was just sharing now.
Um, what can I see?
Yeah.
Okay, this was what I was able to come up because I wasn't sure of it. I had to do research, watch videos and all that. So for the merge application which we were asked to do, I started with the project name, module name, created by me, creation date, reviewed by test lead and all that. So first of all, I started with the login value, the login with credential valid, and this is the thing I was able to get, but I don't know how sure I was. I was just doing research.
No, please walk us through. You actually did a great job. So walk us through.
Then the second scenario is login with invalid credential. Then the test case is it will verify login failure with invalid credential. Then and the test step is enter a valid username and invalid password, just something like that. Then the third scenario is view account balance when you must have been able to log in. The fourth one is fund transfer between each account because merge is just like when you have two accounts, being savings and checking accounts. So you are transferring from savings to your checking account. Then the fifth one was transfer exceeding balance, you know. So the seventh one is password reset factory, password reset functionality, and view transaction history, log out from the application. So this was the test steps, the test data, and expected results that I got. And that was when Mr. Mani said we should stop.
Okay, can you go to your email test scenario, please?
I should.
Go to your email test scenario.
You mean here?
So, I mean, I'm referring to your reset password.
Okay. Password reset
Okay.
functionality.
Yeah. So which other test case do you think could have come out from that scenario? Which other test case
You
do you
mean
think could have come out from that test scenario?
because you said we should stop her.
No, you're not understanding me, okay? You did a test scenario on reset password functionality, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm asking from that scenario, what other test cases can come out from there?
Like another one that would have come under that password reset functionality.
Yes, that's what I'm asking you, yeah.
I don't really know actually, because I just came up with this because I don't know.
Do you think you could have tested for receiving the reset email?
Yeah, but I didn't put it separately. I just added everything together.
No, that scenario is fine. I'm asking because you have to do other test cases. So the other test you could do there is when you click on forgot password, you need to verify whether the user is sent a forgot password email link. So from that test scenario, there are other test cases that could come out from there.
Yeah, I
Do
understand.
you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So this particular scenario, you want to okay, so another scenario, what other test case do you think can come out from there?
The user receiving like the user getting the correct email,
Verify that the user receives the email link to reset the password, right?
Yeah.
So what other test case can come out from there?
And after you must have received the email, you now enter it.
So another test case that could come out from there is when the user clicks on the link, okay, the user is taken to an interface where it needs to create a new password, right?
Yes.
Okay, because we want to check that link works. And the only way you can check if that link works is when the user clicks on it, the user is able to create new password, right?
Yeah.
So when you are writing a test case, you have to look at both positive and negative scenarios.
Yes.
Okay, so you're not just checking that the password reset functionality works. You're also checking some other factors, okay, such as does the user received the email link? When the user clicks on the email link, does it take the user to anywhere? Okay, you might click on an email link and the email link is broken. And that's why you need to test that email link is working. That reset password link is working. Okay?
Okay.
So when you click on the password reset link, right, you
Yeah.
also need to check that when you input your new password and click submit, that you can submit, or the system allows you to create that new password.
Okay, sir.
Do you understand? So you can see that from this scenario, you can come out with multiple test cases.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Then again, I also think that you should have created more test scenarios. From the document I sent, I can see a lot of test scenarios, test cases you could have created from there. But that's fine. I will leave adapt to that. I just thought I should mention those things.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mani. All right, Ogechi, you stopped at TC merge 7, right?
8.
8, all right. You've walked us through logging out from the application, just as Mr. Mani pointed, right? You did a good job actually for your first trial. But apart from looking at the positive side, you also have to look at the negative, actually. But for your first trial, you did a good job. So thank you. So we will be learning how to create test cases, actually. And then the document Mr. Mani sent will be used as an example.
Okay.
Right. All right. Thank you
Thank
so
you, ma'am.
much.
Thank
Yeah. Mr. Jeremiah.
Can I see mine?
Yes, I can. Please, sir, you can walk us through.
The truth is that I actually don't know what I was doing because we haven't been taught. I was just trying to explore it and see what. When I just saw like okay, she's work, I was like, it's amazing. Anyway, we're actually talking about men's application. It has to do with the customer and as well with the manager checking the balance. You understand? So in the test cases, the user have to log as a customer. Then the tester navigate to balance inquiry section and enter valid account number and click submit. Then the second one, the manager as well, because it has to do with the customer as well, the manager. That was what I thought. So that's what I saw, like both the manager as well, the customer or the user. So the user have to log in as well as a manager in the manager section and navigate through the sections, enter the valid account of the customer and under the supervision and click submit, something like that. Then the expected is what is actually expected at the end. You understand? What's expected? That the balance for the balance for the account number should be displayed. You understand? So, but for the actual testing, it has not yet been tested, so that will still pending. And the pass or the status either pass or fail is not executed yet. So you will not be able to feed that point. That's where money was talking about G and H. You understand? So that will not be done until the test is conducted. You get? So I was just going through, we talk about the balance. You can see then between the managers and the customer or the user. Then the TS24 has to do with the sorry, let me come back. Then verify the users so user can successfully transfer funds from one account to another within the merge bank application with the test case scenario. So it has also do with you have to log into the bank application, the merge application. They also find a way through the transfer form section of the application. And the expectation is that the confirmation message have to display. Probably have to display the email as well or the page indicating that the transfer was successful. Understand? Then the sixth, the manager to be able to deposit successfully. Then to do that, you have to also log in. You have to also navigate and find yourself in that deposit fund section application. Then the manager can deposit money into any account, usually done with cash deposited at the bank branch. So something like that. So I was just putting all of this together. So the actual test is pending. Understand? So that is it. Then I also work on 7, verify that the customer can view the mini statement for their own account. I got this from the requirement anyway. Understand? That verify that the customer can view the mini statement for their own account. Understand? Mini statement for their own account. So the test case, the the first one is customer. We refer to the mini or the mini statement. First of all is customer, the other one is manager. The first one is that the customer is logged into their account. Then as soon as you get to that account, you're able to navigate through the mini statement section, select the option and view mini statement and see what the statement is all about. So at least the last 5 transactions for the customer account should be displayed to show that, okay, that is what is expected. So that's it. Then when it comes to the manager as well, the same thing has to happen. The manager has to verify that a manager can view the mini statement of any account of the account. So the manager is logged into the mesh system, then navigate the way through to all of that. Then it's able to check that the last 5 transactions for the specified account should be displayed. So, but the actual testing and all of that is pending because it has not yet been done. So you don't know if this actually passed or not until you conduct the test. So I was just running my head through all of this. I don't know if what I'm doing is right. So I'm sorry for, I don't know what I've done, but I look forward to you guys that, okay, when you start teaching us on these test cases, we start getting the point. Then when it comes to the data, I don't know what to put in data, but I know it has to do with the emails. Understand? You have to reflect in the emails. You understand? So whatever transaction you do, you have a notification in your email. I think that should be the test data, but I'm not too sure, so I didn't put anything there.
Yeah, so for the test data, it will be the credentials you're actually using to test, right? So the email, the password, actually, right? So, good job, actually, Mr. Jeremiah, for your first trial, right? Well, like we're looking from the scenario of, oh, you've actually conducted the actual testing. So, yeah, for first trial, this is actually okay. But like Mr. Manny pointed, right? We're not just going to be creating test cases based on the happy parts, that's based on the positive parts. We also have to look at the
The negative part.
negative parts. Yes, exactly. So, okay, what if you're not able to log in? Okay, what if you did not receive the reset link? Okay, what if you were not able to deposit successfully? Right. So you're looking at the negative part, same time you're looking at the happy part, right? So to cover everything holistically, actually. But great job, everyone. We'll be looking at how to create test cases actually. So great job. Mr. Mani, do you have any? I think Mr. Mani is not here anymore. All right. Um, Let me share my screen. Kudos everyone for your first trial. You did an awesome job.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Mm, yes, just a second. So, can anybody run us through what we did last week?
Yeah. So we actually, what I can remember, understand, I know we did a lot. I was still quite busy to make some revision, but I will try it again to go back. But what we did, what I can summarize here is that we talked about level of testing. Like we have the unit testing, we have the integrated testing, we have the system testing, which have to do with the behavior of the application. Then we also did system integration testing. We also did with what is called the user acceptance testing. You know, yes, the user acceptance testing, the user have to also check to cross-check if they meet you have to validate to ensure that it meets the expectation or it meets the business need, what has been done meet the business need. So, and we also did what we call the feedback and the review. So in every section, stage you need to be reviewed. We need to have the feedback from the stakeholder as well. to show that everything is fine as required. You
Mm,
understand? Then we
mm,
also deal with the function type of testing, functional testing, non-functional testing, which also can be known as the system testing as well.
mm,
You understand? And I check the behavior and the performances you get. So we deal with all of that. Then we now deal with the type of testing that has to do with, as I've already said, functional testing, not functional testing, black box, which have to do with the specification, then white box, which have to do with the underlying structure,
mm.
understand to understand the line structure with related to the coding as well. You should understand all of that. So we talked about all of that, and that actually makes sense to me. And we talk about regression and confirmation, confirming the application is working successfully. Regression, check if all the modules are interacting properly, like a double check if all other structure in that application is actually working normally. So regression, that is what I understood by regression. Ensure that all other interactive modules are working as required. You understand? So
Right.
that is what you told us. Then you also use a Revolut. You
Yeah.
Revolut to make that was very, very good. Let's stand for faith life. Your explanation that Revolut really help us to understand the main functional testing and there's one you said that I see additional testing like other sub application or other features that might be involved, like when you mentioned of Bitcoin, that area that is other additional feature that's involved. You mentioned something like that,
Okay.
which that is not the main application, but that is the sub application, like also additional feature. So you mentioned something like that. So I really appreciate your your stuff last time. The dynamic testing is that sum up all this testing, including black box, white box, functional and not functional. That summarizes all the testing. So that was it. But I'm trying to find out uh, that sub application you mentioned. I'm trying to get it. You understand? But anyway, we also talked about maintenance.
Yeah.
Maintenance. Yeah, we talked about maintenance. That maintenance has to do with when it has already gone live. So based on the contract set up with the stakeholders, so we have to maintain it within some time. It has to be maintained to check how, because as you said, it cannot be 100% okay. You understand? The user, something might develop that might need attention of the tester. So so there should be a certain measure of maintenance after it has gone live. So something like that.
Well, thank you so much. So you are talking about the system integration actually that talks about the subsystems.
Uh-huh. Subsystem. Yeah. You're right. You're right. So that was what I was talking about. Subsystem. So the additional features that might be included, right, in the main application.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Jeremiah. Great job. All right, Ogechi. Hi, Oge.
I am here.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. I've not really gone through all the videos of the last time, but at least I listened to some. You you talked us about levels of testing, like Mr. Jeremiah said, unit testing, integration testing, and all that. Then you also talked us about types of type of testing, which is functional testing, non-functional testing, black box and white box. Then you said on when you're doing a white box testing, it has to do with source code, test output, test input, and other things. You also talked this about confirmation testing, regression testing. which regression testing has to do with you reset all, I think regression testing selection, something like that. Then you taught us about maintenance testing, scope of maintenance testing, the degree of the risk, the size in existing system, and the size of change. You talked us about dynamic, which has to do with white box testing, black box, functional and non-functional. Then and the ones under functional testing and non-functional testing.
Mm.
You talked us about static testing and the products we can use to conduct a static testing, which are I think requirement specification, source code, test plan, test cases. That was what I was able to remember. And value of static testing, which it can also help us to identify bugs that cannot be detected by dynamic testing, something like that. So that was all I could remember because I've not gone through everything.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It actually shows that we're actually paying attention, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So today actually we'll be learning how to do some test cases, test scenarios, looking at the happy and we'll be using that requirement documentation that Mr. Mani sent as an example. But first of all, let's look at some definitions before we actually start creating test cases. Right. So today will be more practical. All right. So can you see my screen, please?
Yes, we can.
All right. So we'll be looking at what a test scenario is. So what is a test scenario? Test scenarios can be defined as any functionality that can be tested. Right. So any functionality that can be tested is called a test scenario. Remember when Mr. Mani was asking you, oh yeah, okay, what if you did not get the reset email? That's actually a test scenario, right? So it can also be called a test condition or a test possibility, right? So that means the possibility of that functionality being tested is actually called a test scenario. So, as a tester, you should put yourself in the end user's shoes. So, you're putting yourself as the person that is going to be using the application from the perspective of a customer or from the perspective of an end user. So, how would you navigate this application? Just like I said, you're not going to be looking at the happy part or the positive part. You have to look at the negative part. Okay, what if a customer or an end user is not able to log in? So you're looking from their perspective, right? And then you'll be figuring out real world scenarios and use cases of the application on their test. So, like I said, in real life or world scenarios, there are sometimes when you're not able to log in, or there are sometimes when you're not able to receive that reset password that you have sent to your email. There are sometimes when you're not able to transfer money, you're not able to deposit successfully, you're not able to even add beneficiary, right? So these are actually word scenarios that you'd have to look at holistically. I'm using the word holistically to actually cover both the happy part and both the sad part. All right, scenario testing in software testing is a method in which actual scenarios are used for testing. So just like the scenarios that you actually gave, okay, oh, I want to log in, I want to log in, I want to be able to deposit money, I want to log in using my valid credentials, and also those are actually actual scenarios, right? So the purpose of scenario testing is to test end-to-end scenarios for a specific complex problem of the software. So you're looking at the application end to end. So scenarios help in an easier way to test and evaluate end-to-end complicated problems. So that's why I said you need to cover the application holistically, right? So look at scenarios that could actually happen, right? From the happy part and also from the negative parts. So why create test scenarios, right? So creating test scenarios ensures complete test coverage. Imagine if you're just looking at the application from the happy part. No, no way. So that means you're not covering if you're not able to log in successfully, if you're not able to sign up successfully and all that. So you're not going to be covering the test. You're not going to be completing the test coverage. But if you look at the application but from the perspective of the happy part and also the negative part, that means you're completing your test coverage. So test scenarios can be approved by various stakeholders like business analysts, developers, customers to ensure the application under test is thoroughly tested. So it ensures that the software is working for the most common use cases. And another benefit or why we should create test scenarios is that they serve as a quick tool to determine the testing work effort and accordingly create a proposal for the client to organize the workforce. They also help to determine the most important end-to-end transactions or the real use of the software application, right? So for studying the end-to-end functioning of the program, test scenario is very critical. It's very critical. You actually need to create test scenarios to ensure that your application is duly tested. Do we have any questions?
Can you go back to the very first slide?
Right.
Okay. It said a test scenario is, it said it's also called test condition or test possibility,
Yeah.
because I've seen some format when I was making research on YouTube. I've seen some format that will say test scenario, another on another what's it called again? Another face interface again will also be test condition, or the next column will also be test condition. So I was not saying that test scenario and
Yeah,
test
some will
condition
show you test possibilities.
and test possibilities.
It's quite
Well,
So
confusing, but
what is it the same test scenario and test condition? Shouldn't be the same, right? So I don't understand that.
no, no, no. It's actually the same. Sorry for that. Sometimes some persons actually compound some things or make some things very complex, but it's actually the same because your test conditions or your test possibility can also be called as test scenario. So I will show you an example actually when we start the practical.
Okay.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions?
no.
Okay. But you all did a great job for your first trial.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. It was research.
All right. So when are you not to create test scenarios? Right. So test scenarios may not be created when the application under test is complicated. If it's a complicated application, right? So you might not be able to cover that application holistically. If the application is unstable, right, and then probably there's a time crunch in the project, meaning there's a deadline for that project. So you might not be able to create test scenarios holistically, right? Then projects that follow agile methodology like Scrum, Kanban, that's based on the project. So this is from the project management side now, right? So they might not be able to create test scenarios. Then test scenario may not be created for a new bug fix or regression testing. So remember the definition of regression testing. Who can actually take us or who can walk us through what regression testing is actually about? Eh, Okay.
Like what
Yeah, so what's regression testing? We did that last week.
Yeah,
are you
I think regre- regression testing, I will not really say the point, but the way I understand it,
Mm,
regression testing, um, that the changes or updates made have no negative impact on the existing functionality, something like that.
okay. Okay. Thank you, Ogechi. Mr. Jeremiah.
Yeah. So regression testing is more or less like to me, with the little I understand, it's more or less like double checking if all other modules are actually working as required
Mm,
unanimously. Understand?
mm,
Uh-huh. Like confirmation testing, you've confirmed the login. Understand? You confirm the login if the login is actually working. Okay, if the login not working, what of other pages? How they are able to interact? How will they be able to function unanimously?
mm.
So regression testing have to look all to that to ensure that the application is okay.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, thank you. So basically, regression testing, right, is actually when a bug is fixed. So um you are conducting that test to ensure that what has been tested, right, or what has been fixed has not spoiled another part of the application. So you're retesting again. So that's what regression testing is all about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
was what I had in mind, but I don't, you know.
Well, you guys tried actually. Yeah. So basically, since that test scenario has already been created, so there's no need for you creating another one when you're conducting your regression test, right? So you just need to still follow the same procedure to actually run through your test cases. So how do you write test scenarios? First of all, you need to read the requirement document like the BRS, right? The SRS or the FRS, right? So basically, sorry, just a minute. I'm so sorry, please, just a second. There's a call that keeps interrupting me, so let me just quickly attend to it.
Worries.
I'm so sorry about that. Sorry, I just had to so that I don't get interrupted again. Mm, sorry, please. Can we all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just had to attend to so I don't get interrupted again. All right, we're looking at how to write test scenarios. The first thing first, just as like I said, you actually need the requirement documentation, right? To know how you are to create those test scenarios. Like the documentation Mr. Manning shared. From there, that was where you were able to write your test cases. If you agree with me, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So first thing first is that you need to read the required documents, such as the business requirement specification or the software requirement specification or the functionality requirement specification of the system or application on that test. Like the assignment I gave to you to write about, to create test cases on bank application called merge. So Mr. Money now shared the requirement documentation, where from there you're now able to curate your test cases. So first thing first is you need to read and understand it. From there, you can now create your test scenarios. Step two is for each requirement, figure out possible user actions and objective, right? Then you're also to determine the technical aspect of the requirement, ascertain possible scenarios of system abuse, and evaluate users with hackers mindset. Same thing we are still saying all over again. You're not just looking at the happy part, you're also looking at the negative part. Do you understand? So imagine now you're only testing, oh, I'm able to log in, I'm able to transfer, I'm able to sign up. Okay, what happens to if you're not able to sign up? What happens if you're not able to log in successfully? What happens if you're not able to add beneficiary? What happens to if you're not able to deposit money or you're not able to send money? Meanwhile, you're just doing the positive parts where you're able to. So you need to look at it holistically, right? Just like what you showed us, you all actually showed us the happy part. You're able to deposit money, you're able to get email, you're able to sign up, you're able to log in. Okay, you need to actually look at test scenarios where you're not able to, right? So you're looking at the happy part and you're also looking at the negative part. Do we have any questions so far? Mr. Jeremiah, okay, do you have any questions so far?
No.
Yeah, no, I acknowledge what you said, that what we did,
Oh, sorry, baby. Please, go ahead.
that what we did is more or less like the happy part. Because I
Yes.
actually get to that part that say if the user is unable to transfer,
Uh-huh.
there's an error. It will display error on
Mm-hmm.
chat. If the user is unable to log in or use an incorrect password or user's name, it should show error. So there
Mm-hmm.
was a part in that requirement. So we're actually getting to this. That, but what you said now is great. I appreciate it.
All right. Then the step three, after reading the requirement document and doing your due analysis, you need to list out different test scenarios that verify each of the software, right? So once you've listed all possible test scenario, a traceability matrix is created to verify that each and every requirement has a corresponding test scenario. We'll look at that shortly. Then the scenarios created are reviewed by your supervisor later. They're also reviewed by other stakeholders in the product. So remember, right, how you are able to actually carry out your software, the procedures you're to actually do or imbibe on to actually do the software testing. So first thing first, you are reviewing documentation, trying to understand the requirement document. Then the next step is you're creating your test cases. So in the point where you have a supervisor over you or you have a test manager, you would have to send those test cases to your test manager so that your test manager can validate and can review it in case you missed anything, right? So, like I said, I've worked in a place where it's me, and I've worked in a place where we have a manager. So the first time when I started my journey, I worked in a place where I had a manager. So she would give you a certain time to do your test cases. Sometimes, like I said, to review documentation, it might take me a week or two. To create those test cases, it might take us probably 3 weeks or 1 month maximum, minimum 1 or 2 weeks, because we need to look at both the happy and the negative part based on the requirement documentation given, right? So after we've done the test cases, we need to send to her to review and see that we have covered the entire application, both based on the happy part and based on the negative part. And she would give us feedback that, oh, what about this test scenario? You did not add it. Okay, what about this part? You did not add it. Because if you have a test case that has covered both the happy and sad parts, even both from the part that the hacker can actually hack the application, it actually saves you. It makes your work easier, actually. It makes your work easier. So after she has reviewed, then she can send back to us to make those corrections. Then our test case is good to go. They can now send it to the various stakeholders to actually review too. But most of the time we don't send it to them because they give us that benefit of doubt that we've done due diligence, right? So we can now send it to them when they are now doing the user acceptance testing. That's what we do. So we send it to them that, oh, this is the test case we actually used to run through the application, actually. But in the case where it was only me, I now had to send those test cases to the project manager. But she just reviewed, but she might not be able to give input like that because she might not be able to know how test cases actually run. So what she just did was, oh, okay, okay, okay. She looked at it, oh, okay, 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 okay. And then that was it and all that. So review is actually good to ensure that you have covered the application holistically. Do we have any questions, please?
Go back. So what was that one saying? Saying doing due. What was that? That number 3.
Due analysis, that's due diligence.
I know. It said after reading the requirement, they
And
use this
doing
ROC and
and
doing.
doing due analysis or
Okay,
due diligence.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So, what are the tips to create test scenarios? So, each test scenario should be tied to a minimum of one requirement or user story as per the project's methodology. And before creating a test scenario that verifies multiple requirements at once, ensure you have a test scenario that checks that requirement in isolation. All these are theory. We'll look at the practical part. Avoid creating overly complicated test scenarios spanning multiple requirements, and the number of scenarios may be large and is expensive to run them all based on customer priorities. Only run selected test scenarios. So all these are just theory. You would actually understand better when we start doing the practical part. So example one. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. So we are using the Amazon platform as an example. Okay, please confirm you can see my screen because we're entering into the practical part
Yeah,
now.
I can.
All right. So, for example, using the Amazon signing page. So, the test scenario, of course, we know Amazon is an e-commerce application, right? So, this is Amazon is where you purchase goods, you check in, add to your cart, and then you log out. So, it's basically for buying and selling, known as e-commerce. So for applications that you buy and sell, they are known as e-commerce application, right? So for this e-commerce application, you can see now your signing, you need email or you need a phone number, right? And then you need your password, right? And then you can sign in. That is if you've signed up as a user. Remember, if you signed up as a user, or you've become a customer, you now have a valid credential where you're now able to sign in. But in the case where you are a new person or a new user to Amazon, you have to create your Amazon account. So first thing first, we are going to be looking at possible scenarios that can actually come out from this, right? Test scenario one will be for you to check in the login functionality. Am I able to sign in as a registered user? That will be your first test scenario. Please, are we following? Mr. Jeremiah, okay, please, are we following? I need to ensure.
I'm here. Just that there is noise in my background. I'm here.
All right. Please, I need to ensure that because we are going through the practical phase now of you understanding how to create these test cases. So, like I was saying, the test scenario one is to check in the login functionality, right? So, as you can see from my screen, signing can also be known as login, right? So if you're able to log in, that means you have created your Amazon account. You're a registered user, right? So first thing first, you need to check the system behavior when valid email ID and password is entered. That is one. So as a user, if I enter a valid email ID and password, in fact, let me just go as I'm doing this, let me open another tab side to side and just go to Amazon. Who has an Amazon account?
No, I don't have a.
Okay, do you have?
No, I don't. I don't.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, what can you see?
The signing, Amazon signing template that you brought, and examples of test scenarios for e-commerce platform.
Okay. Well, that's not what I'm sharing now, though, but I'm coming. I just want to go to the real life so we understand what we're doing. Because it's always good when you. So you can see. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first test scenario is to check your login functionality if you're able to log in. I don't have an Amazon account, so that means I need to create an Amazon account, just as we saw in that example. So if you're able to sign in, means that you have a valid email address, right? So let me enter my email address and I press continue. You see, they can't find my account because I'm not a registered user.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, let me go back to my slide. So another one you'll be checking your system behavior when invalid email ID and valid password is entered. So that's another condition. So you will test, okay, let me create an Amazon account and then just use it. Let me go back. Stop sharing because this is the practical part now. Mm, share screen, Chrome tab. Amazon sign in share. All right. So I'm going to be creating a new account, new to Amazon. Yes, I'm new. So I'm creating an account now. I'll use my name, Ada, my mobile number, I'll use my email rather than my mobile number. My password character, I'll just use this what is being, or let me just use software. Let me use um Ada 2004.
This is how you do the testing now, like just like this.
Uh-huh.
So this is the manual testing now.
Yes.
It sounds big, but it's not that big. Like physically, it don't look that big, but the name is very big.
You started already, actually, by creating your test scenario. So first thing now, I'm trying to create an account so you can see where we are coming from. So we are going to be running through all those test scenarios. But first thing, I need to create an account first. So let me create an account. So I say my password is, we're entering my password is going to be Ada 2004 hash. Is it Ada 2004 hash? I'll be 2024, I said. Can't remember now. At Ada 2024 hash. Then I'm entering the password at Ada 2024 hash. So they say I should verify my email. So they sent an OTP to my email. So let me go to my email.
Why is it that most times, like I've experienced it, the one-time password, it takes time to enter? Why?
Yeah, so it might be a delay on the system actually. It's a delay on the system. So that's another test scenario that you can actually create. Okay, what if the user gets a delay in getting one-time password? Where did I put that Amazon now? Let's see, Amazon something else right now. I've created my accounts. Okay, so let's start looking at. Let me log out. Let me sign out so I can be able to log in back.
So this is the happy part now.
So I no, it's not I just need to be a user first. So I'm
Okay.
going to be using myself as using my email as a test study, right? So first thing I need to create an account as a user. So now we'll be looking at those test scenarios that we are seeing from our slide. Let's go back to our slide. In fact, let me share my window. Or let me share my entire screen so I can be able to navigate rather than sharing and resharing. So first thing they said we should check system behavior when a valid email ID and password is entered. Let's go back to the Amazon platform. So sign in. I'm entering a valid email and password, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the email I used. I press continue. The password, what did I say my password was?
At that 2024 hash.
Exactly. So am I able to sign in using let me press not now because I'm not interested in adding my number now. Am I able to sign in using a valid email ID and password.
Yeah.
So that's the happy part, as you can see. Mr. Jeremiah, are you following? Mr. Jeremiah,
Yeah.
please, I need to ensure that we are following, because this is the practical session now that we've started.
Okay, the happy part is when it reflects in your email, right?
The happy part is that I'm able to sign in using my valid email and password.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
So let's go back to our slide. The next test scenario is check system behavior when invalid email ID and valid password is entered. Let's go. Let's go back to Amazon. Let me sign out. So they said test using invalid email and valid password. That's not the happy part. Let me use my email is supposed to be amadugosandra@gmail.com. So I'm going to be using let me turn my name upside down. Sandra Ada at gmail.com. And I press continue. So you can see itself, I cannot even go ahead. They are saying they cannot find an account with that email address. Can you see?
Yes.
Are you all with me, please?
Yeah.
All right. So that means you cannot even progress because the system cannot recognize that email address. It has not been registered with that email address. You cannot even progress to where you can enter your password. So you can see the unhappy part now. Let's go back to our slide. So they also said check system behavior when a valid email ID and invalid password is entered. Let's go back. All right, let me put my email, my normal email. I continue. Then I'm not using Atada. I'm using maybe at Chinwe 2024. Let's see. What does it show me, please?
There was a problem. Your password is incorrect.
Exactly. So you can see the unhappy part. So first thing first, we checked for valid email and valid password. The next one now, we are checking for valid, we checked for valid password and invalid
Invalid
email.
email.
The third one now, we are checking for valid email and invalid password. So you can see you're checking both the happy parts and both the unhappy parts. All right. The next one we are checking, sorry. The next
So
one
that will be in what session in this test case?
in the login functionality. Check
I
the
know,
login.
I know. If you look at the test case, although we will go through though, now the one that you are now checking for negative, what will be the subheading?
The subheading is also the login functionality. Okay, let me go to
Yeah, it's just like is it the test steps?
is the
Yeah, the
test
test
step.
step.
Are you asking for the test steps?
Is it the test step this belonged, or where does it belong? Or
It
the test
actually,
condition,
yeah,
or the
it
test in,
it belongs to the test condition or test scenario. Okay, let me just open what Mr. Mani sent to you people. I'm coming just a second. Let me forward it so I can open it from here.
uh,
Is it confusing us?
no, it's
It's
not
not
confusing.
confusing, just that if you're looking at this picture, it's almost the same with the other one, but they are not the same.
Because what you are doing now is the testing part you are doing now. We are
Yeah, testing part,
it's what he's
but
doing
it's under test scenario.
another test scenario, yeah.
Mm, it also look like test case. Yeah.
is conducting the test on that test scenario.
This seems quite difficult.
So I'm doing like you rightly said, I'm doing sorry, let me share my screen. So the test scenario we are doing, as you can see, test scenario or test condition, right? We are looking at the login functionality. Can you see my screen, please?
Yeah.
And then the test case we are looking at is valid email and valid password. That's we'll write it as TC1 or TC whatever. So test step, log in your valid email. Test step 2, log in your valid password. Test data would be email. My email, ama adugo sandra at gmail.com. Password. What's my password?
At that 2024 hash.
That's the test data I use. Expected results. User is able to log in successfully, right? When I used a valid email and password.
Yeah.
What was the actual result? Same thing too. I was able to log in successfully. So the next test scenario is still login functionality. That's
I
the
found
test scenario.
Okay, I found out that if the expected result and the actual result are the same, then the status will be passed.
Yeah, the status will be pass.
Good.
But if the expected result is not the same thing as the
Fail.
actual result, it will be
It will be
fail.
fail, yeah, of course.
So my pass and fail now will be pass. Because
Yeah.
remember when I used my valid email and valid password, what I was able to log in successfully, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So the test scenario is still login functionality, but the test case now would be valid. The next one we looked at was valid email and invalid password. Oh no, we did invalid email and valid password, right?
Yeah.
So please, can somebody tell me the steps?
The step is a login. Am I okay? Login with log your email with an invalid email.
Log in with invalid email and valid password.
Is it valid or invalid? Invalid
The
email.
email is the first one she tested. The email is invalid. The password was valid.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, it's my fault, sorry. And valid. Then the second one will be backspace. Invalid email. Then
The
log
valid
yeah,
password.
yeah, with invalid email, then log in with valid password.
Valid password, yeah. Okay.
But I thought this thing is noise.
So our test data. For the test data, I used email as I just made up an email. So I made up Ada Sandra at gmail.com. So the test data is the credential you use to run that test, right?
Okay.
Then the password is still my Ada 2024, right?
Okay.
So who can tell me the expected results?
The expected result should be
User is
error
unable to log in
to
successfully.
get login. It's not an error. It's unable to log in with an invalid email.
Do you know the expected results? Even from what we saw that I could not even progress to that. Let me go back.
User should not have it.
Let me go back so that you can see what we are looking at. What has happened to my screen now? Please, what can you see on my screen?
Blank. Yeah, we can see it now.
Uh-huh. So, um, okay, so,
It couldn't take you to the next page.
um, all right. So, remember when I signed in using email or mobile phone number? This is a valid, an invalid email.
Yeah.
When I press continue, it did not even take me to where I'm to log in my password. It already gave the error message saying that user cannot, you cannot find an account with that email address. So this is the expected result.
Yes, yes,
So let's go
of
back
course.
to so it will be an error message saying that user saying that the system cannot find that account with the email address. So that will be the expected result.
But there are some certain
And there are
e-commerce
some certain ones that you can progress and put the password, but this
password
particular Amazon, you cannot progress. That's how they've already
progress,
created the system.
and these are indicated in the requirement during the.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. An error message, sorry. Please, can somebody help me read it out, please? An error message saying what?
There is no
Say okay, say that you can
there is
unable
no
to enter.
account with this email, something like that.
So you cannot find.
Please, can somebody just help me read it out while I type?
We cannot find an account with that email address. Is that how you're going to put it?
We can't find an account with that email address. So you will just display it like that, write it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay. I don't say it displays error. Okay.
You need to be explicit.
Explicit. Okay. Okay.
So it will be an error message from the system. So what was the actual result? Did we what we stated as the expected, was it the actual result we got?
Yes.
So is it pass or fail?
It's
It's fair.
pass.
It's fail, okay, Ogechi.
It's pass. Pass, not fail.
It's passed. Don't mind me. Sorry.
It's pass now. I don't know why it's what is happening. Mhm. The next one is what? Under the test scenario, login functionality. What are we testing for, please?
Yeah, invalid password.
It will be valid
Invalid pass.
email first, valid email
Valid
and
email and
invalid password.
Invalid password. Yeah.
All right, please, these steps, someone should just help me out.
log in with log in with valid email.
An invalid password.
Thank you.
Log in with valid email and invalid password.
All right. I'll just leave the test data. We already understand what test data is. The expected result was, let's go and see what our expected result is supposed to be. So I'm logging in with with a valid email, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm logging in with invalid password. What have I pressed now? Sorry. So what password should I use at Ada 2021? So let's say what the expected results will be. System saying your password is incorrect.
Yeah.
So let's go. An error message saying an error message
Going.
What
showing. Yeah, sorry, Mr. Jeremiah, I want to say.
invalid password or incorrect password? Okay. This is recorded, right? It's under
Yeah,
record. Okay.
you share it is recorded.
Okay, better.
What was the actual result? Is that what we got or not?
Yeah, what we
Well,
lost. Yeah,
Is it pass or fail?
pass.
passed.
You know, this system, they've already tested it. So if you're doing your actual test, it might not be the same results you got. Maybe as
Yes,
a
yes, yes.
user, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
exactly. Maybe as a user, for newly developed application, maybe when you logged in, you were able to log in with invalid email. You were even able to log in with invalid password. So you can be seeing now that if the expected result doesn't meet the actual result, that means it's going to be a fail, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's go back to our slide. Let's see the next test scenario. Mm. So the next one is we've checked for valid email and invalid password, right? So now
Yeah.
we're now checking for invalid email and invalid password. All right, let's go. So you see how it's working, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to go back to where I have password. Yeah, let me confirm. Yeah. So they said log in using invalid email, right? An invalid password, but we cannot progress, right, to the password page. It will
Yeah.
still show the same thing. So let's write it now. We are still, the test scenario is still login functionality. So you can see now from login functionality how many scenarios you can create. So that's what he was talking about. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand.
Mhm.
It's clearer now.
So what are we doing? Invalid email and invalid password. Ba?
Yeah.
What are the test steps?
Login with invalid email and invalid
Login.
password.
Exactly.
So you write down the test data you use to conduct that test. What is your expected result?
The test data is still the same email, right? Still email.
Yeah, the test data will be the email you used and the password you used.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for this one now, you'd use an invalid email and you just put the test data that was used there. So what's the error message, please?
Right.
I think it will be
Incorrect.
an error message showing
In-
invalid email and password.
All right.
Incorrect. Incorrect login system. Oh,
Yeah.
So what is the actual result? Was that what we got?
of course.
That is what we got.
As
So
you say, it has been tested, so it
yeah,
was
so
not
it's
a pass.
pass, yeah. So that's another test case. So another test case would be, sorry, another test case would be when system behavior, when blank email and blank password. So let's see what will happen. That means you're not entering anything like what we are seeing on the slide. You did not enter anything, you just signed in.
Will you be able to click? I'm not sure.
Let's see now. Let's see how it will happen. Let's see. We are doing practical. What does it say?
Enter your email or phone number or mobile number.
So here they've in Amazon they've created that you cannot even progress to the password.
Password
It
side.
starts from the email or mobile phone number. You can't progress to the next page. So, all right, let's go. We are entering test cases, blank email and blank password.
Yeah.
So you can see that we are covering it holistically. Do you understand?
Yes.
And blank password. Because these are actually test scenarios that can happen where people will just log in without even entering anything.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the steps? The steps
Enter
will
your
be
email.
the step will be you're not entering any value, you're not entering anything, you're just pressing on the login. So do not enter any email. Just click on sign in. So test data blank. Expected results. What did we get? Can someone please read out the error message?
You say enter your email or mobile phone number. Or instead of putting mobile phone number, can you just put, I'm asking, enter your email and password. Can it be like that?
It
Almost
depends
twice.
on what it gives you now, according to what has been stated in the requirement documentation. But
Oh,
from we are using Amazon now as an example. So Amazon said you should enter your valid email and or your mobile number. That's
yeah.
what's yeah.
Okay. But if you are testing other apps, maybe some other apps will bring out.
Yeah,
Mm.
depending on what the requirement documentation says.
Okay.
So what we got the actual results now is pass.
Yeah, it's pass.
All right. So the other test case scenario, check we have to check forgot your password is working as expected. So let's see. So let me put my password, my email. I forgot password. Let's click on it. So password assistant. So I'm doing this now. So from this forgot password, you can also see, okay, my forgot password, I put my valid email address, right?
Yeah.
So what if you now put a wrong email address to do forgot password? Ada Sandra at gmail.com. You can see.
Yes.
So those are just test cases that can come out from that test scenario. So let me just leave my valid email now. See. So they've sent me a verification code and then I'm to submit the code. What if I enter the wrong code that they gave me? Submit code.
We say it's not valid.
Exactly. So you can see now I'm coming up with scenarios that can actually go wrong.
Yeah.
So that's how it works. And that's like a practical way to actually do your test case.
Okay.
Do you have any questions before we proceed to the next example?
I don't know about Mr. Jeremiah.
Mr. Jeremiah, do you have any question?
No, no,
Is it
no.
self-explanatory now that we've done the practical parts?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Jeremiah, is it self-explanatory?
Yeah, yeah, the step. Yeah, but this
Oh, sorry, Mr. If you're speaking, we cannot hear you.
can you clip here?
Sorry?
Sorry, my son is just coming to disturb me. So what I was trying to say is that this what the this different test scenario. So you have to okay. So what? Okay, it's fine then. I've got what I'm trying to say. This test scenario in your slide now, we're actually giving all the step on what to do, what to go for,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
what
yeah,
to
yeah.
go
So
for.
it gave you the
So
test cases to come up with. Right. So
yeah.
like some of the
So
ones he didn't give us, okay, when you now I had to now create more. So it gave us possible test cases you can come up with from that test scenario of login functionality. So from my slide, it gave us when you enter, check your forgot password is working as expected. But okay, if you check your forgot password is working, definitely you have to put a valid email. But it didn't give another test case I could derive from here is that okay, what if I put a wrong email, right? And which I did, I put a wrong email. And what did he give me? He said the system does not recognize the email. So I now went further. Okay, I logged in with my valid email. I put my valid email for forgot password. Okay. And then expected result is that I will get an OTP to that email. Okay, what if I enter a wrong OTP? What did he say? valid OTP given. So that's how you can actually create test cases from your test scenario
Yeah, but
given.
I have a question.
Yeah,
In real life, will the test requirements, like, will it be like this?
sure.
No, this one you did now is quite explanatory.
Yes, it should be.
You
It
know
should be
what to do.
But it's not, it will not be like this in the requirement. Oh.
in the requirement, depending on the person that is curating it now. Some
Okay,
persons
this
can be
okay, okay,
very,
this is more or less like a requirement now. All those
Yes,
yeah,
steps that I'm
yeah,
talking about.
yeah. So
Uh-huh.
depending on the person that has curated it, like the one Mr. Mani shared now, did not give all this explicit
uh-uh,
thing that you're to do.
this one will
So,
tell.
so one of the skills of a business analyst that is doing requirement documents is that they are explicit as possible, right? So for a business analyst, so depending on the person that has created that documentation, some persons might be so explicit like this.
Some might make it cumbersome.
Exactly. Where you now be using your skill as a software tester to come up with these
The
test
requirement.
cases based on the test scenario given. Do you understand?
Yes,
Yeah. So the next one now is test scenario for the next test scenario is the scenario two. You know, scenario one was what did we do? Login functionality, ba?
yes.
So scenario two is to check in the search functionality. All right, let's go to our example. So now what will I do? First step. You know the step now will be that you log in first
Yes.
before you now go to the search, right?
Yeah.
So let's see now. Mm, I'm not doing forgot password again.
So when you're writing a test case, it can be as lengthy as,
Yeah, so my sister.
because
Let
for
me see.
the ones you've done so far now, plus this one you're going to do, to be very lengthy.
Yeah, it should be very lengthy. So, like now, from that test scenario, right? The test cases will be, oh, can you blank, invalid, and other things. You'd now be the test cases can be very lengthy.
I
So
have
that's why I said it takes time to
I
come
have
up with.
another question.
Yeah,
Do
sure.
you need to like put everything together, or do you need to create another sheet and name it, or do you need to just continue writing and
No,
writing?
you continue writing and writing. You don't need to create another sheet. Let me share one and use that as an example. Mm, come here. I'll share one I use as an example. Let me see. I think it's on my Google Doc. Wait, no, let me stop sharing first. Um,
I have another question. As a
yeah.
test, maybe when you are working with other group of testers, can this be splitted among
Yes, so yes,
like
because it can be cumbersome to write. So your
like
test manager will share it. This person work on this login
login?
functional. This person work on search. This person work on transaction. That's what they normally do actually. Then they can now compile into
Yeah.
one sheet.
But if you are alone, you do everything
You
together.
do everything, my sister. So most of the time, people actually prefer working in teams, right?
Yeah,
So that the work will not be,
and heavy, like much.
right?
This first one you did now has already, like, you derive so many things from it. That's how you be doing it. When will you finish? It will take time.
We are running on by 12:30 now or 12:40.
Yeah, 12:30 or 12:40.
Okay, good. So I will really look forward to for you to use that requirement.
Okay, that Mr. Mani shared, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll just quickly run through the example so that we can.
Yeah, because the requirement was kind of much. It's confusing, kind of.
So do you, apart from the requirement that Manny shared, do you have other, does it involve like doing like 3 times of requirement with us so that we have the different phases,
Yeah,
different
it's
categories?
true. And you also promised that you are going to use Azure Avor to show us something in automated testing.
Yeah, we'll still do that actually.
So what I'm asking, apart from what Amani sent, do you also have your own requirement according to your own plans? I don't know, probably like 2 different type of requirements to form a test case so that we have more broad knowledge.
Apart from what he shared, you mean?
Yeah. Do you yourself have yours? Although it's still part of it anyway. Do you still
It's,
have
it's
other
still part
additional
of it.
requirements?
No, it's just the requirement he has given because him is coming from the perspective of a business analyst and he's a business analyst. So he's been the one to, to create all that. So what I would have is actually test cases that speaks to that requirement he has given.
Okay,
Sorry, just one as in.
just one requirement.
Yeah. That's based on what he has already sent.
Okay, because you people are not meant to write requirements, it's BAs
It's the BAs that writes
that will write
requirements.
requirement and send it across.
Yeah.
Okay.
So would have preferred if there's an additional requirement. I know you are not the one doing it, you are the tester. If there is some additional requirement for us to
Okay,
also,
Mr. Jeremiah, you want them to give us another assignment?
not another assignment.
Like, when they give you a different requirement, it's another assignment you are doing.
Eh,
No.
Just maybe have one or two, like 2 different requirements so that like this requirement that the man is saying now, you might say another requirement will be totally different that you'll be
Yeah, this
confusing.
one he sent, I think, from my own understanding, I think is for banking application. And
Yeah,
there might be other types of, it's not only banking application you test so many other things, you understand?
another things, yeah.
So there
So
might
I
be
wish we
other.
have another requirement addition so we can also test for that, do test case for that, then it will also help us.
Mm. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
All right. So you can see the test scenario. You can see the test cases created. You can see the test steps. You can see the test data. You can see the expected results, then the actual results, right? So from here, you're trying to know a new customer, right? How to sign up as a new customer, right? So if you want your work to be neat, maybe you can be creating different sheets, still on the same. Maybe your first sheet can be new customer, your next sheet can be edit customer or new accounts. Okay, let's go to new accounts. I'm not edit accounts. Let me see. So, edit accounts.
Okay,
No.
I get what you said now. And this actually makes sense.
So for new customers now, the first thing first, you're verifying the name field. So name cannot be empty, name cannot be numeric, name cannot have, but this is based on the requirement documentation that had been shared, right? So you can see the 10 steps that was entered. So depending, if you don't want your work to be cumbersome, where you have login, sign up on the same thing, you can just create different sheets and name it, and then have all whatever you've written down actually. So verify email, verify telephone, verify PIN field, verify state field. But this is based on the requirement documentation shared and the application in question, right? So this is just an example. Do we have any questions?
But this is an official document or is with us?
The way she says she's come and she's still going back to
Get back.
Sorry, what did you say?
Is this an official document or is something you can also share with us for us to learn from?
I think I can share it.
Thank you very much. Because
Okay,
I
let me
like.
just download and share on this. Let me download.
But this one now is like a very high level stuff, right?
It's not still high level, it's still the same thing you're doing.
Like the way you wrote it, you don't have to make it very simple. You don't have to explain
Yeah. Let me try and download it. I've shared it all.
Thank you, actually.
Thank you very much.
All right. Please let's run through the second one and the third one so that we can just go on a 5 minutes break to drink water. But we all at least get the idea of how to create test cases, right? Practical idea.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. Let's go back to our slide. All right. So the next test scenario will be to check the search functionality, right? So how do we go about what are the you for you to check your search functionality, right? Sorry. So how do we go about it? Let's go to our example that we're using now. So first thing first, you need to sign in.
Yeah, get inside.
Yeah.
Go to the room.
So you can see I'm going to my search, right? So maybe I want to search for bag. You input the details. I press enter. I have all the bags I want. What if I don't press anything and I just say search? I don't press anything. This one has been tested, so it might not give us what we want. So let me just say search Amazon. So even if I don't press anything, it's just giving the all. That's what has been there already, right? So those are just basic examples, actually. Let me go to the next one that he said. So another one is to check the product description page. Let's see. Product description. Okay, let me go for bag. I like bags. Let's go for bag. So you can see the description. Let's click on it. The drop desaline phone bag. Then see the product details, the fabric type, the care instructions. That means you're to hand wash only, the origin, the closure, country of origin, about this item. So that's checking it. So what if in your application, when you click on that, it's taking you to another part? So that's the negative part. Or when you click on it, you're not able to the product details, you're not able to view. That's another unhappy part. So those are
Hi,
just practical examples that you can look
can,
at.
can you just do one straight line for us with this one? Because this one is far from logging in now. Can you just do one for us? Let's see. A test
Sorry?
case. Can you do a test
Okay,
case
okay, the test case, okay.
uh, on that bag description?
Is it the search description you mean?
And the search description and the description, right? The search description, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the test case can be search
So the scenario is just search.
yeah, search functionality. Let me go back to my slide on how they code it. Check the search functionality that is working. That's the scenario.
Okay. Like the case ID, you will just write, you will generate that on your own.
Yeah. So this now can be TC or it can be NC3. The search is NC3, login is NC2. So check the search functionality. So check for an item.
What does what does the end system so
It's just the ID, the test case ID. So you can come up with anything. Or maybe the application is NC. Right now, our application is Amazon. So I can change it to an AM3.
uh-huh. Okay, very clear. Thank you.
So search for a product. First thing first, you need to sign in. Sign in using a valid email and password.
Okay. So you have to still going through this. Okay.
Yeah. Then to navigate to the search bar. 3, on the search bar, enter a product
Enter the search bar, enter the products.
you
Okay.
want to search for.
Yes. Very good.
Test data will be your credentials that you used.
The email.
Expected results. Yeah, expected results will be when you enter that the product comes or you're able to view the product you search for.
Yes. Went to the products page displayed.
Mm-hmm.
On
Or
view.
product. Okay, let me say product page displays is being displayed. Actual results was the same thing, so it's a pass.
The pass. Yes.
Yeah.
As you said. Yeah. Okay.
Then
Okay.
for what's the next one now is
The
check the product
description.
description page. Uh-huh. So it will be AM4.
Product description page. Okay.
Test case will be um would be test case would be
View
view products.
view product description page.
Test steps. First thing first, you need to log in.
To log in. Yeah.
Yeah, or sign in. Okay, are you here? Hello, okay.
I'm here. There's noise in my background. I'm here.
Okay. But thank God you have the recording, so you can always go back to it.
Yeah.
Then after you log in, what next are you doing? You're
Yeah.
navigating to the search bar. After you're navigating to the search bar, you are you are viewing a product on the search, or you're clicking on the, what did we say again in the other one? You're searching for a product, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Searching for a product.
Then the next thing you
View
are,
the product. Able to view the product, right?
yeah, so view the product.
The product. Okay, I get inside.
So the expected result is that you're able to fully view the product description.
Yeah, that's the main. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the actual results we got it. So if the actual result is that you're not able to view, that means it will be a fail, right? So that will be a defect. So that is actually how it works. So let's
Wait to
see.
wait. Yeah, product description, view product description page. Okay. Sign in normally. Normal. Then error message, enter your oh, product page is being displayed. Okay.
Yeah. So payment functionality will actually be the same thing too. So you're
Yeah.
able to do,
Yeah.
even to check the order history too, it's still the same
The same
test
level.
scenario. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Nice.
that's just how it is. So we are to the another assignment is to test scenarios for a banking site, right? So that's another assignment for us.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just use the merge that you did now. It's just to test scenarios. You're not doing test case. This one now is test scenario. So come up with login, come up with search, come up with for a banking site. So it's easy.
Wait, oh. Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Test scenario now. Are we not feeling everything the way we feel?
No, you don't need, you're not feeling everything.
You just
This one
only
is
the test
simple.
scenario.
Test scenario. So come up with login, come up with sign up, come up with, I've shared an example now. I shared a test. So you can just use that one for me.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
You just be writing scenario and be going.
uh So just come up with, let me see what you can come up with. All right, so the next one is test analysis, but let's go on a 5 minutes break. This is the last, I mean, we've not gone on a break except when I took a call. So 5 minutes break, then when we come
Since
up.
you're going on a break, can you take it back and let me?
Oh, yeah, sure. Take it back to,
Yeah, it's okay. I've taken what I wanted to.
Wait.
sorry, I didn't get that.
No, I wanted to take a screenshot of this. You know, when you're listening to the video, before you get to this part, it because
All right, right.
the exact assignment question.
Okay. All right, we can go on a break. Then we'll be back in 5 minutes. Then we would run through our end. Then next. So today is basically practical rather than theory. Because the truth is that theory is easier, is I mean, is it's
Easier said than done.
exactly, you actually understand more when it's practical
Yeah,
than
like
when we are
what you
just,
said us today, I've gathered some things.
yeah, it's, I prefer practical than theory actually. How is it done? Show me how it's done rather than you giving word.
Yeah.
So with this your assignment now, the same measure we will use.
And it's the same merge you use, but just come up with test scenarios for merge. You've already started coming up with test scenarios now, so just give more.
Okay,
Yeah, and I've
okay,
shared an example with you so you can give more based on that.
okay,
Mm.
This one
okay. No worries.
is
All right, let's come back at 11:50 or 11:55 or 11:55. Yeah, then we'll just run through 12:40.
okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, okay.
All right, thanks.
All right.
All right, are we back? Please, can we confirm we're back?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you were asking how you can. You just to click on it.
I opened it, it was empty. It was just like the one Mr. Money shared for us that we should, populate from. It was
No, did you click to download?
Yeah, I downloaded it, like I saved it. Then when I went to open it just now, when we went for break, it was empty.
Can you share what you received, please? Let me see. It's not empty on my own, no.
Okay. Let me join the link.
Can you quickly share, please?
That's it.
Go further now. Okay, sure. See the different sheets. Mm-mm. Click on change log. See customer, new customer.
Okay.
Click on new customer. It's not
Oh,
empty.
okay. Thank you. Yeah, I'm still
Welcome.
learning how to use this Excel. Thank you, ma.
Welcome. Mr. Jeremiah, please can you confirm your back? Mr. Jeremiah. Okay, please can you reach out to Mr. Jeremiah so that we can quickly run through 12 to 12:40 then call it a day.
Okay.
Please just message him.
I'm actually here. I'm hearing what you're saying. Just that my son is disturbed, he's crying, so I'm listening. I'm just struggling with him.
Okay, no problems. Okay, so we move over to test analysis, right? So basically, test analysis is a process of checking and analyzing the test artifacts in order to base the test conditions or test cases. I'll show you a practical example of this so you'd understand better. The goal of test analysis is to gather requirements and define test objective to establish the basis of test conditions. Hence, it's also called the test basis. So basically, the objective of this, right, to establish the basis of your test conditions. I'll give a practical example on this so that we can understand rather than the theory. So you can derive your test basis from your business requirement specification or your software requirement specification or your FRD, which is known as the functional requirement specification or functional design document, right? So I would give a practical example on this so that we can understand what test analysis is all about. So this is a case study, right? So consider, you remember the test scenarios we've been looking at. We've looked at login, we've looked at search, we've looked at product description, we've looked at sign up, right? So even though the application is yet to be developed, right, you're to try and develop a few test cases for this requirement, right? So test analysis, right, is just basically looking at the how would I put it now? The various, sorry, just a second. I'm having a distraction here. Sorry. Please, I'll soon be done. Just give me a second here. Sorry about that. Sorry about that distraction. So remember the various things we're looking at, right? We're looking at both the happy part and also the negative part. So we looked at when we were looking at when for login, for example, we saw where we could um, we checked for blank password, we checked for blank email, we checked for invalid password, we checked for valid email and all that. Right. So if you look at the test basis, that's the requirement sent by the business analyst or sent by the um what's it called now, sent by the client. You can actually convert it to the test condition. So the test condition, right, is basically the that's the various test cases we're able to derive from. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So remember the scenario we had, login functionality. The next step was to look at the various test conditions, right? So from the test conditions, from the login functionality, first thing first, sign in with a valid email, sign in with a valid password. Another thing, sign in with an invalid email or sign in with a valid password. Another one we checked out for was sign in with blank email. Another one we checked out for was invalid password, invalid email. So you'll now be tracing it back to the documentation derived. Mr. Jeremiah asked a question that in some documents, is it explicit as we had in the example I showed you? I now said depending on the person that created the documentation. So in the requirement documentation, it's possible that the business analyst or the client had put it in a various way, but you need to follow what he or she has stated in the requirement documentation. So that's just basically the explanation. But we would look at a practice. Let me just go to what I shared with you. Yeah. Can you still see my screen, please?
Yeah.
So the test scenario now for verifying name field. This is when you're signing up as a new customer, right? So let me go back to the example that the Amazon accounts we were using. Let me sign out. For this test case now, to verify your name field, right? You're verifying name cannot be empty. You're also verifying name cannot be numeric. Name cannot have special characters. Name cannot have first character as blank space, right? So those are the various things. So basically, right, these test cases, right, you're now where test analysis comes out from is that you're retracing into the requirement documents that has been provided. Okay, let's go to the documents now that Mr. Mani sent. Where's my downloads? Right, sorry, because I downloaded it. Uh, mm, mm. Sorry, please, can someone drop the requirement document that Mr. Mani shared? Just drop it on the chat so I can download it. Please, can anybody hear me? Can you please drop the document that Mr. Mani shared?
Oh, okay. Which chat? Is it the class chat?
Mm-hmm.
This is our class chat now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's on this meeting, this Zoom meeting.
I don't know why. Mine is not. It's not sending. I don't know why.
All right. I'll just forward. So can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So this is what Mr. Mani shared. So this is known as the requirement document or software requirement specification, business requirement specification, anyone you want to call it.
Okay, I thought in the test case you were looking for.
No, it's not the test case. I just wanted to,
Okay, you were looking for the test requirement, eh?
yes.
Oh.
So you can see new customer, edit customer. So the test case I shared with you is the test case derived from these features or models that have been given, right? So you
Okay.
can see how they describe the models, the model name, applicable roles, description of it, right? Then you have the technical requirements. So this is now, you can see now, it's actually explicit, this one. For new customers, the first thing their the customer name, right? Numbers are not allowed. So you'd have to test test. You have to test that particular part. Special characters are not allowed. Customer name must not be in blank. First character cannot have space. Address read must not be in blank. Address, and then they looked at. So this one is actually explicit. So they gave you what to actually curate. See, it's actually explicit. So basically, test analysis is what you like. I mean, what we are seeing here, right? So based on what has been given by the requirement documentation, just basically analyzing each, right, and then looking at it judiciously and doing due diligence on it. That's what test analysis is all about. So, and then we are now, we are now we are now what's the word now? We're tracing it back to the basis or the requirement documentation that has been provided. That's why on our next slide now, let me stop sharing and share again. That's why on the next slide now, they're now trying to identify or describe what requirement traceability matrix is. So we've seen that documentation, right? So a traceability matrix is basically a document that correlates any two baseline document that require a many-to-many relationship to check the completeness of the relationship. Is used to track the requirement and to check the current project requirements are met. Right. So you're trying to see, okay, what you have been provided, right? Does it match what you have now stated in the test case documentation that you have? Right. So you're just trying to retrace, right, to the documentation that have been provided. That's just the definition of what this requirement traceability matrix is. So you're validating and you're also checking that all requirements are checked via test cases, right? So that no functionality is unchecked during software testing. Remember now, the documentation I just shared you, they actually analyzed the various functionality to be checked. And based on that, you've now created your test cases, like the example I shared with you, right? So now you're now trying to check, okay, this test case that I have derived now, does it cover everything stated in the requirement documentation? That's what requirement traceability matrix is all about. Do we have any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
This traceability matrix, mm, does it have to come in a tabular form?
It does zone depending on what has been provided in the documentation. It's just dependent on the skill of the business analyst. It doesn't have to come in a tabular form,
I have
right?
not seen to.
Yeah,
Not
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have to come in it. It can come in any format, but it's just that is the document readable? Is it understandable? Is it explicit? Right.
This traceability matrix, we are not the one developing it, right? It's BA.
It's still the requirement document that we are talking about.
Okay, it's part of the requirement. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I just asked because in BA class you have traceability matrix.
Yeah,
In
so
a
it's
tabular form.
yeah, so you are referring to what has been taught in your BA class since
Yeah,
they already mentioned requirement traceability matrix.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So why is RTM? Why is it important? Like you already clarified now that this has been taught in your BA class. So it's basically to validate that everything has been covered, right? The test case that you have curated, everything has been covered, and the requirements stated in the documents has been covered. So that's why RTM is very important. So
What is the meaning of ROTM?
requirement traceability matrix, what we are talking about, that's
Okay,
RTM.
traceability
Yeah,
matrix.
that's just the acronym.
Okay.
So which parameters do you include in RTM? So you can do you can include the requirement ID, like the IDs we have, like we were using Amazon for our test case that we're doing now. We're looking at the Amazon platform, right? So you can include the requirement ID, then include the requirement description, look at the test case ID, and then the status, is it pass or fail? So you're just looking for search, you're including every test case ID under search. Then you're now looking at the status, right? So you're just trying to um, do your check and balance to ensure that you've covered everything, every single functionality. So that's just it basically. So as illustrated, like in this now, a requirement traceability matrix can show the requirements coverage in the number of test cases. Like you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Tiny.
Oh, sorry. Let me see if I can increase it. Is it still tiny?
Like the wordings are okay. It's just the white box that is kind of tiny.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can increase it. Let me see.
No problem. Maybe we can look through it through the video.
Sorry?
I said maybe we can look through it in the video.
Yeah, but you need to understand where I'm coming from actually. I think this is the best it can go because I don't know, I'm not zooming well. All right. So, as shown here, you can see the requirement. Like now, log into the application, right? The various test cases that we've come up with, where you're logging in with a valid email and password, you're logging in with invalid, you're logging in with blank, right? Then the you can now see the test design, right? You can also see the UAT test requirements. Of course, that's not done. That's user acceptance testing. Then you're seeing the test environment too, right? So the test environment is where you are running the tests, the environment used to run the test. So you're now saying that, oh, that's for the test execution part, that the test environment, it has been tested on the test environment. But for the user acceptance environment, it has not been tested by them, right? Also, the production environment has not been tested. Then you're now also adding the defect. Okay, were there any defect found when you were running the test? Right. Then you're including the defect ID based on your bug reports that you have. Then the defect status and also the requirement coverage status. So this is what a traceability matrix actually looks like. Do we have any questions?
Hmm.
It's just basically, let me put it in simple English. You're just validating that all the requirements stated in the requirement documentation has been covered during your test case that you were doing.
Yeah, I understand. This was actually what I was asking about. Like, because I know that it's always on a tabular form.
Oh, I see, I see. Sorry. I was mistaking it with your requirement documentation.
No.
Sorry. Yeah.
So at
Of
the
course,
end of go on.
yeah, sorry. Of course, it will be in a tabular form because you're trying to basically specify all that have been done, right? But depending. So I was mistaken in it with the requirement documentation actually, but this is how it actually looks like, the requirement traceability matrix.
Okay, as you said earlier, this traceability matrix is also in the requirement, or
Yeah,
it's a different document on its
it's a
own.
different document entirely. So it's basically this document is validating that every requirement stated in the requirement documentation has been carried out in the test case.
Who is developing this one?
It's actually us.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay, you are summarizing everything.
You're summarizing everything, yes.
Kind of
Yeah.
feedback.
Yeah, so feedback of the test that you've done. So this is like a feedback, I mean, the summary, right?
It's
But
a
this is
summary.
a summary, right? Summary from the requirement documentation provided.
And the thing is not big enough for somebody to see how it looks.
I was trying to zoom it. I don't know why it's not zooming. Let
This
me.
matrix
Let
now,
me see if I can zoom it from.
is it done on Excel?
It's Excel.
So many documentation involved with this.
You can't use any other one to do it apart from Excel.
You can. That's dependent on you. So there are test management tools. I think this now you can actually do it on something called conference documentation. You can. So dependent, but Excel is something that everybody is accessible to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's be better done on Excel or Google Sheets, anyone you deem fit. I'm sorry, let me try because it would be nice if we actually see what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can zoom it. Let me see. Your documentation is plenty, Shebi.
Hmm.
No, it's not as plenty as we
Yes,
see.
so
It's not as plenty as we think or come to think about.
It's plenty. You do test plan, you do test case, you do stability matrix, Abakra. It's plenty.
Yeah, yeah. So let me see if I can zoom this.
if it's a different document, you should have example now. Okay, it's good now.
Oh, it's still gone back. So I need to remove it from slideshow so that you
Okay,
can.
now we can view it while watching the video, right? It's recorded.
Yeah, yeah, it's recorded. So can you see it now? Share is better. You can see it.
Yes.
So you can see the requirement description that we looked at, login, then the various test case ID, the test case description, test design, test designer, UAT test requirements. You necessarily do not need to add all this, but it's just giving an overview of what had been done and that you met all the requirements in the requirement documentation. That's just it actually. Do we have any more questions before we proceed and call it a day?
I don't have.
Are you sure?
I don't have just that. I think I was just thinking, in this one, no traceability matrix. I'm surprised coming here now, seeing it again.
Yes. It's just to, like it's basically ticking your boxes, right?
Hmm.
To be
So
fair,
what?
sorry, Mr. Jeremiah. To be fair, I've not done a traceability matrix, right? What
But
I
you
do
can
is
do it.
summary reports. What I do is summary reports. That's my test reports. That's what I do. But in this class or in this course, we're just trying to ensure that you tick all your boxes. So imagine now you're being employed, and then in your when you're carrying out your test, they are saying that you're bringing traceability matrix. They'll be like, wow, this person actually knows his or her onions, and this person is actually doing due diligence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another question.
Yeah, sure, please.
You
Sure.
said from the explanation you gave, that traceability matrix is all about giving feedback on what you have done, right?
Not just feedback, validating that all
Yeah.
requirements in the requirement documentation have been met when you were doing your test cases.
Okay. But this place you wrote no run, no run. Have they been met?
No run is production environment. You're still testing in the test environment now. It has not gone live yet.
User
So
acceptance testing quite.
user acceptance testing, the client has not tested it yet. You're just doing your work as a tester. So you're just testing on the test environment. So on the test environment, it has passed. Maybe now when it gets to the user acceptance test, when the client is now testing, it might be fail. Then when it now goes live, it might be fail. But from your own part, it's saying that, oh, I've done due diligence, I've tested all this, and then it's a pass. It's a pass. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So when it now goes to the environment for the clients and also the production environment, which is when your application has gone live, right?
And another question: if there is a defect, what? Because this one they wrote none. If there is a defect, how do you put it? And the defect.
So defect to be defect, yes. Defect ID, you now give the defect ID based on your bug reports. So we'll look at bug reports probably next week when we come to class. So defect ID will now be the ID of the bug reports you've already logged. So defect question mark, yes or no? Yes. Defect ID, you put the ID there. Then you can also put the defects. Maybe you said maybe the defects can be user unable to log in based on um the
Invalid.
test case ID. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Any more questions,
What is
please?
a defect status? N/A. What is
All right. So defect status will be if it has been fixed or not, right? So for defect status now, since there's no defect, it's non-applicable.
okay? Non-applicable.
Yes. Since they don't have any defect, it's non-applicable. But in case where there's a defect, the defect status might be, okay, has it been closed or open? So closed meaning that it has been fixed by the developer.
Okay.
Open meaning that it has not been fixed by the developer.
Okay.
But here now is non-applicable because there is no
Defect.
defect. So you can see now the requirement coverage status is showing partial. That means this particular test case did not cover all the requirements stated in the requirement documentation.
Hmm, I don't understand. Come again.
Requirement coverage status. Why are we doing requirement traceability matrix? To know that everything stated in the requirement has been covered in the
Covered.
test case.
Mm,
Here now, requirement coverage status is saying partial. That means it has not covered all the requirements stated in the requirement documentation.
okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Do we have any more questions so that we can call it in day, then resume back? So remember the assignment, you're to do test scenarios for a banking site. Our banking application is called Merge. That's what we are working on. Yeah. Mr. Jeremiah, do you have any more questions, please?
I think he's busy.
Mr. Jeremiah, if you're speaking, you're muted.
Yeah, yeah. I thought we are going to use the requirement to do test case. I think you want to show how to use that requirement to do test case.
I've already given you the test case itself.
The test case is the one, this one is about logging in, logging. This is different from the requirement now. The test case you
The
did.
requirements that we is different, yeah, but I'm saying that the test case itself, I've given you already. That's the document I shared. For the document Mr. Mani shared, here now, let me go to the documents. Sorry, I'll stop
When
sharing.
you were explaining customer name should not be this or that.
That's the test case itself.
What I was saying, what I was thinking, I thought you want to use that requirement of
The
of
document Mr. Mani shared, right?
yeah. I
Yes,
thought you want
please.
to
So I'm
use
saying that I've given you the test case itself. Let me go to the
Um,
document Mr. Mani shared. This is the document, right? Is it not?
yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
So where is the test case for this?
The test case is the one I shared on the chat.
Ah,
Yeah. So you can see now the new customer, edit customer, delete customer, new account, edit account, delete account, deposit, withdrawal, fund transfer, balance inquiry, fund transfer, mini statement, customized statement, change password, login and log out. So those are the various models, right? And then coming here, they are giving the new customer, a new customer must have customer name, gender, date of birth, address, city, state, PIN, telephone number, email ID, then you submit and reset, right? So they've given you all that on how to go about being a new customer. So for new accounts now, they are saying that your customer ID is required, right?
so
So
wait, so
this
this new account now, wait, go back now. What you were explaining just now, a technical aspect. Okay, this new customer now, this is the test case. If you are plotting that matrix, or sorry, that test case format, like this new customer will be seen as the test case or the test scenario.
The new customer is a test scenario. So the
The
test
test scenario.
cases will now be going down. This one. Customer ID is required. Special character are not allowed. And
No.
yeah.
Okay, everything that is up, all those the requirement is down. Don't
So everything that is here, customized statement, right?
uh,
Or new customer, right? And what's it called? So basically the details for
okay,
fund transfer, these are the details that you're to
okay.
have. For fund transfer, you must have a payer's account number. You must have the amount, right, before you submit or you want to reset. For
Uh,
change password, right, you must be able to do old password, new password, then you confirm password, you submit and reset. For balance
oh,
inquiry, you must be able to have an account number. So these
oh,
are
this
just details to have.
hold on. This balance inquiry, change password, these are the test case scenario.
No, these are not the test case scenarios. So
The
these are just
requirement
the details, the requirements to do, to
that you are
have.
supposed to use to write your test case, right?
Yes.
I know, like
So please go ahead, Mr. Jeremiah.
there's a there's this subhead like customized statement. That customized statement now, would that not be a test scenario?
It's not a test scenario.
A test scenario rather.
It's not a test scenario.
Not
It's
test
the
scenario.
details you're to have to carry out the customized statement. Customized statement, you must have account number. Either you're doing from date or to date, and then you're doing amount. So the test case scenario now,
Uh,
the
where is
test,
that?
yeah, the test case scenario now will now be new accounts, new customer,
Okay.
balance inquiry, customized statement form, delete account form, delete customer, deposit, edit account. Then this T50, T51 are now the test cases derived from the test scenario.
Okay.
Do you understand? Let me go to the test case itself I shared with you. Mm. So can you see the test scenario now?
Yeah.
For new customer now, you're seeing verify name field. You're seeing verify address field. You're seeing verify city field. You're seeing verify state field, right? You're also seeing verify PIN field from the new customer part. Then the test cases are now all those things that you're not seeing, where you have to have.
Okay, go to the requirement now of this that you are getting this from. Let me see something. Verify city.
This is it.
Okay, customize this requires special criteria. Okay. But right and not allowed first characters are not. But all these statements are not actually found in your test case scenario.
Let
You are
me
the
go to
one.
the test case scenario. I'll go to the test case scenario now.
I'm sorry, how does it relate?
Name cannot be empty. It was found there because what you're looking at for new customer now, the new customer is the functionality that we are looking at, right? So the test case scenario can be to verify name field. That's when you're trying to sign up as a new customer. So the
Uh,
test cases now will now be name cannot be empty. That means when you're verifying your name field, you're checking for if it cannot be empty. Then you're also looking at name cannot be numeric. That means for your name, you'll not be having numerical numbers on your name.
my confusion is that this name cannot be empty. This name cannot be numeric.
It wasn't found in the.
It was not found there. How do
Let
you
me let
generate
me
this
let
one
me
from your
go. Let
brain?
me let
She
me
showed
go.
us that time. There was one time she brought it up. So this thing is empty. Yeah, see,
This is it. Yeah. Customer name must not be blank.
Okay.
numbers are not allowed.
It must not be numeric. Oh, yeah.
Numeric is numbers are not allowed,
Yeah,
right?
Numbers
numbers are not
are
allowed.
not
Yes.
allowed.
Special
Oh,
characters are not allowed here. It's
okay.
just different English they now used for the test case. That was used for the
Okay.
test case to make it explicit actually.
Okay. This is another case. Okay.
Yeah.
But this test case is under this new customer. I'm not sure.
It's much now.
It's
Like
much.
I said, you have to look at the happy and the unhappy parts.
Oh,
Okay.
like it's plenty.
It's plenty. Oh. So that's why I said it takes maximum 1 month
When
to
you are presenting these lengthy somethings to your stakeholders, wouldn't they get tired?
they will not get tired. They're trying to do an application now, so you need to do due diligence.
Mm.
You will not get tired.
Okay. Anyway.
All right.
Well,
Do we have any more questions before we call it a morning? So just go through the. You can go through the recording again. Then, if you have any questions, you can always tag me on the platform to ask.
yeah,
Okay.
just a general thing. This software provider, is it actually in demand?
Yes,
In,
so it is transaction it is. But the truth is that
mm,
the truth is that mm, Now, how would I put it now? It's actually in demand, right? But what is mostly in demand would be the BAs,
Yeah.
yeah, especially in this country.
Okay, okay. Because now I already have a profession that pays me from 40, 40, 50, 60, like that, which I'm
Oh,
already in. So going to this software testing, is it not like going back?
is it
Because
not
I
like
already have a profession. You understand what I'm saying? I already have a profession that pay me up to from 40 and above. Sure you get.
mm,
So now I was talking to somebody was like, sorry, I'm just delaying you with this.
no
Well,
problem?
like you already gone far in an HSC, all those things. You are a lead auditor, you are all of that. Why are you going for software testing? I said, okay, I will find out. I know what I'm going for. It's not like I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to see, what do you think?
Well, it's dependent on you, actually.
Okay,
It's
so
actually
this,
dependent on you.
yeah. So this software test, the advantage which I saw that why I'm engaging is that you can do it most time. You can do it from home, right?
Yeah, it's remotely. Most
It's
of
remotely. Most of them are remotely, which is the
yeah, it's remote
advantage.
jobs.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, which is
So,
my
yeah,
make
the
of.
truth is that you can still combine this, but if you feel you have passion for this, you want to take it, of course, that means you would be starting from the scratch. That's the truth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you'll be starting from the scratch.
And the scratch is like 20 something per year, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
depending on the organization and how much, or depending on your negotiation skill, actually.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. That's- What about project management? Is this still in
Yeah,
demand?
projects like project management and BAs, they are more in demand than software testing.
Okay.
But even if you go and learn project management or BA, you will still start from scratch.
And you still start from scratch, that's the truth, but it's just that the salary
It's more difficult.
is more than
And
the
the work is more difficult.
but
Okay.
there's no work that is easy actually, like I said. Both the
Okay.
PM, the BA and
This
the
one I was
software
even
testing.
thinking is easier. It's difficult.
Okay.
No work is easy. That's the truth. No work is easy. You still need to do the work,
Need to
right?
ultimate
Do
work.
the work, then you get the money.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, because you don't know where you find yourself tomorrow. So it's just
Exactly.
better you advance yourself whichever way.
Yeah, very true.
Because this if you know you go Canada, you go US, you could still use it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No problem. Thank
No
you.
problem. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
All
appreciate
right. Thank you very much, everyone. Have an amazing week. See you
And you,
next week.
and you too. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.